The thoughts, opinions, and general overall shade thrown on High at 9 News are those of the individual speakers and not those of High at 9 News, its audience, or its advertisers. The statements made do not constitute medical, legal, or financial advice, and for advice tailored to your specific situation, please consult with a licensed professional. Welcome to the High at 9 News Hour, where you will hear from cannabis industry experts and professionals from around the country talk about important topics while shining light on global issues and discussing cannabis as it relates to politics, regulation and reform, data and technology, science, research and medicine, family and parenting, art, celebrities and entertainment, fitness, sports, mental health and wellness, and plant-based medicines and entheogenics. Together, we are building a stronger community, fighting the stigma and creating change. With your host, Jason Beck, joined by special industry expert correspondents from around the country, and daily antics brought to you by cannabis. Coming to you live every Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific Time and high noon on the East Coast. And thank you all for getting high at 9 with us. Yeah. Good morning, everybody. That's right. Today is it's Thursday, May 15th, you guys. And oh, you're gonna love this, Stone. It's National Bring Flowers to Someone Day.
Oh, do you need some flowers, Jason?
I'm always with some flowers. You know what I'm saying?
I want you to send me your flowers.
Hemp flowers or what?
What's that?
It's like hemp flowers or what?
Whatever kind of flowers, you guys. Whatever flowers, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Whatever it is, I'm here for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also let's see. It's also National Nylon Stocking Day. I was trying to hope Jenny was going to be here by the time. Every time we had to say that, you know what I mean? Thought that would be pretty funny.
What the fuck are you trying to say, Jason?
Today, yeah, there we go. Speak of the devil, there we are. It's National Nylon Stocking Day, Jenny Beth.
I heard.
Okay. It's also National Chocolate Chip Day. And it's everyone's favorite. Everyone, especially Nick Bradley. Today is also National Peace Officers Memorial Day.
Huh.
Yes, indeed. And thank you all for joining us and getting high at 9 with us. It's also high noon on the East Coast. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe to us on all social media platforms. You can look up above and down below to see exactly where we live on the internet. And we are live every Monday through Friday on YouTube, Rumble, Twitch, X, Instagram, Facebook, Kick, as well as on our very own website at www.highat9news.com. So welcome to everyone joining us from whatever platform you are joining us from. And we are kicking it off first with Miss Jenny Beth Dills. She's the founder of Kind Cannabis. They can help your business stay on track, whether that's BioTrack, MetTrack, or possibly even The Track. That's right. She can also help. Also, if you're a justice-impaired individual, she has a nonprofit, a 501c3 called Justice Served that can help you get your life back on track. And that's right, it is none other than Miss Jenny Beth Dills.
All right. Well, Jason thinks he's funny this morning, so it's going to be a long show, you guys. All right. So, here we go. All right. So, Alabama is set to crack down on hemp-derived THC products under a sweeping new law signed by Governor Kay Ivey. House Bill 445, signed on May 14th, was signed on May 14th and set to take effect July 1st, gives the state's Alcoholic Beverage Control Board the authority to regulate, license, and inspect businesses that manufacture and sell consumable hemp products. It also bans smokable hemp and places a 10% excise tax on THC-infused items like gummies and beverages. The new law also imposes strict limits on THC content, no more than 10 milligrams per serving or 40 milligrams per container, and prohibits sales to anyone under 21. Online sales and direct delivery are banned, and authorities will have the power to seize unregulated products without a warrant. Governor Ivey's signature comes despite opposition from hemp advocates and cannabis reform leaders, including Birmingham Mayor Randall Woodfin. He warned the law could cost Alabama jobs and revenue, saying Alabama deserves better than this. Yeah, I'm sure there's a ton of Alabamans that are employed making fake hemp products. But all right, we'll see. Supporters of the bill, like Republican sponsor Representative Andy Witt, argue it brings needed oversight to what he calls the Wild West of Alabama's hemp market. But critics argue it pushes vulnerable consumers to the black market by banning widely used hemp flower products. Under the law, only licensed liquor retailers, pharmacies, and large grocery stores will be allowed to sell hemp-derived THC items, and with heavy restrictions. Violators could face hefty fines and even felony charges for repeat offenses involving underage sales. The full regulations roll out on January 1st, 2026. Well, Jason, looks like parody gummy won't be coming to an Alabamian near you anytime soon. I'm going to throw it back to you guys and see what y'all think.
Man, the trap is going to survive and thrive in Alabama, apparently. I mean, we all know that this method doesn't work, and the fact that you can do direct to consumer and whatnot is really kind of how do they stop this? How do they stop?
What do you mean they can do direct to consumer, Jason? So I had remember my weird lights in my kitchen in West Hollywood. So those were a light that is no longer legal in California. I'm like, cool, I'll just go online and have them shipped to me. Cool. No, the fuck I won't, because Amazon blocks it. You can't ship them to California.
Yeah, but if you would have ordered directly from the shipper, they probably would have shipped it to you. That's because you went to Amazon, and Amazon is regulated because of their Amazon is regulated because of their agreement with the United States Postal Service as far as where they ship things, because we actually subsidize them with our tax dollars so everyone can have their fast deliveries.
Jason, I want to see you try to ship some parody gummies on July 2nd and watch them get your ass. Good thing you know an attorney. Dale, you might have to go get Jason.
Yeah, well,
I'm not too worried about it.
Thankfully, I don't practice in Alabama.
Yeah, no, Jason. I mean, I think that's interesting because this is the first state that's went ahead and blocked online sales and direct to consumer. They're like, nope.
You know what? You know what it'd be like? You know what it'd be like, Jenny Beth? You know what it'd be like? It'd be like My Cousin Vinny Part 2.
Jason. Jason, if you go to jail for trapping hemp, I promise you, I'm not sitting there no fucking nothing. Like, get a real charge. Get out of my face.
What do you think?
As I recall, Tommy Chong went to prison because he sent a couple of pipes into a state that said, no, you can't send them here. So, you might want to be careful about that kind of stuff.
Boxes all day, every day. What do you got to say, Stone?
I mean, it's kind of mirror image of what we got going on in Texas. But again, that's all the operators who were threatening to the house that, shut me down. I'm moving across state lines and I'm shipping it into Texas. So I don't know. I think it's sad. I think we're watching federally legal hemp markets just kind of systematically getting shut down here. And there's, big people behind it.
Yeah, I think
we're watching the closing of a loophole, you guys.
It's not a loophole. Yep. Stop it.
Dale, what do you think?
It's a loophole.
No way. No way. You guys, man.
The only person on this show with a degree to practice law and to understand and interpret them agrees with me that it's a loophole. I'm going with Dale.
You can go with Dale all you want. You know what I'm saying?
I am. I'm going with Dale to smoke the real weed because hemp is a loophole.
THCA is actually weed.
Exactly.
I mean, you got to admit, it is a fucking loophole. It's a loophole big enough to drive a fucking semi-truck through.
I don't know. I don't know if I'd call it a loophole. They're not doing. I love that you guys say that.
They're not doing sensible regulation to reel it in, though. Like, they just need to concentrate on banning. Well, I mean, I don't know. Look at these southern states. These southern states do not want cannabis. So they're doing everything they can to not get it.
Oh, and the 10th Amendment gives them the power to do that. Right? Yeah. And the federal government said, hey, we're not going to be involved with hemp. As far as we're concerned, it's not marijuana. Let this go. But the states get to put up their own barriers, make their own laws. And as I remind you, Tommy Chong got in trouble because I think it was Pennsylvania said you can't ship this shit here. He did it anyway. And he went to jail. Okay.
I thought it was Michigan.
Well, I don't know. I can't remember what state. It doesn't matter.
It was over there, though. It was, or maybe Minnesota. It was over there, though. It was one of those states right around there.
Whatever state it was, Dale was making a damn good point, Jason.
That's fine. Dale makes a lot of great good points.
Remind you that just because you believe something doesn't mean it's true.
Well, Dale, they always told me perception is reality.
Yeah, until you're sitting in front of a jury and they go, "Yeah, fuck you."
You know, I think the best example of what you're referring to, Dale, is was on the movie Blow. When he was like, you know, like it was just an imaginary line, and the judge was like, no, those actually are real lines that you crossed, and you know what I mean, when he was talking about flying things from here to there, he's like, oh, these imaginary lines that you guys create, and da 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 da. That was probably the best.
Let me just say, I have yet to watch a movie or a television show depicting what happens in the law that has any fucking close reality to what actually happens in the law. Okay? They're there to entertain, and you know, like a sovereign citizen sitting in court. What? I'm traveling. The fuck you are. You're driving a car. You're going to jail. You dumbass. Okay.
What about Perry? What about Perry Mason or Law and Order, Dale? Weren't those pretty realistic?
It was fucking horseshit. That's what it was. It was fucking horseshit.
You know who had it right?
Entertaining.
That damn Matlock, Dale. That damn Matlock. That white
Matlock.
They're all written to be entertaining, but it's basically very goddamn boring. No one wants to watch it. Getting at the truth is expensive and time consuming. Okay. And those shows don't depict getting at the truth. They get at entertaining and ratings. Okay. So they'll fudge all kinds of shit just to get people to come back and watch it. When you're sitting in the courtroom, well, Perry Mason did it. Yeah. Well, you can cut your meat with a fucking spork then for a while, because Perry Mason don't practice here.
Well, it's a good thing they didn't give us real good meat in jail, Dale, because it's been hard to get through with that spork, you know. Those patties are pretty easy to cut through. Yeah. Jason, you know, that's what the whole basis of this show is about, is Jason lying about the law and making it entertaining.
Stop it.
If you tell a lie enough times, people start to believe it.
Stop. Right, I do not lie. That is not my
in general.
Not in my wheelhouse.
No through 3 sizes that day.
You guys are just you guys are mean today.
I love you, Jason.
Can't believe you guys would even say something like that. Crazy.
All right. Well, I mean, listen, I think that Alabama is saying cut the shit. And if you need somebody to really tell you to cut the shit, have somebody in the South do it, because, you know, Southern mamas, Southern courts, they're going to tell you to cut the shit, and they're going to do it very directly. And they are like, okay, well, maybe they watched the High at 9 News show, Jason, and think, well, that's just stupid. You can still ship it and buy it online. And they were like, I got you, bitch.
It's an admission, too. Admissible in court.
I mean, that hombre shipment coming in.
I mean, what if they're shipped from Mexico, Dale?
Then it's definitely illegal, Jason.
No, it's not.
You're moving to Mexico to ship hemp products into the United States?
Yeah, why not? Why not? They're not going to be the state's not going to be able to come and extradite you out of Mexico.
Federal government will find your ass.
Yeah, but it's federally legal, Dale.
Not to ship it across.
Yeah, it is. It's 100% federally legal.
Well, that's great, Jason. And we live in a country where, thank God, we have states' rights. That's how we have a California cannabis program. So states' rights, but you're still allowed. We've looked at this. We've looked at local control. We've looked at state control. And the federal government can say it's fucking legal, and the state can say, go fuck yourself. You can't do whatever the fuck you want. We said, no, not here.
I understand that, but this is the reverse. This is the reverse, and there's always, you know, a polar, a yin and a yang. You know what I'm saying, Jenny Beth?
Well, pull the first commercial out of your yin yang, Jason.
Yeah, and we're rolling into our first commercial, and we'll be right back.
Oh man, your knees still bothering you, man?
Yeah, my left one, you know. But I'll tell you what, I've been using this new CBD cream, and it works like a miracle.
CBDs? I done heard about them CBDs. I was out there on them Twitters the other day, and I heard they get you high as a kite.
Well, not this stuff. This stuff is tested. Every batch, all the way through, pharmaceutical grade, and in a GMP certified facility. So you know you're not going to have to worry about flying high.
GMP certified? I might have to try some of this out. Where I'm even find this?
You go directly to aimhighhemp.com and they will ship it to your door right away. Test it. It's not a name, it's a promise.
Oh man, and we are back. guys.
Coming up next, we have the High at 9 Hemp Trappin' Honcho, Jason Beck.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jenny Beth. Well, why New York is removing padlocks on illegal weed shops that closed, you guys. Man, oh man, New York can't get anything straight, you guys. Oh boy. Because with court orders that allowed the city to sell illicit cannabis stores are starting to expire, questions remain about whether the shops could reopen. That's right. Mayor Eric Adams of New York on Wednesday visited a pizzeria in Queens that was once an illegal smoke shop to celebrate the success of his administration's crackdown on illegal cannabis shops, even as the city is bracing for a potential resurgence. Mr. Adams said the pizzeria, which is named Salsa and opened in Rego Park in March, demonstrated how the enforcement against illegal weed sellers was paved the way for other small businesses to open and for the legal cannabis industry to thrive. In a quote, he says, "We went from illegal items that were harmful to communities to pizza, good food, good paying jobs, and a support system," he said. The mayor said his administration has shut down about 1,400 smoke shops since the crackdown started in last May, and at the same time, the number of licensed cannabis dispensaries in the city has surpassed 160 and generated more than $350 million in sales. In the wake of state lawmakers' decision to legalize adult use marijuana in 2021, the number of unlicensed weed shops exploded throughout the city, undercutting licensed dispensaries before they had the chance to open. And the move to shutter the renegade shops, which in Manhattan alone vastly exceeded the number of Starbucks coffee shops, was widely applauded. But the court orders that allowed the city sheriff to seal the illegal businesses with padlocks for 1 year and have begun to expire, requiring the city to remove those locks. The expiring sealing orders have raised the possibility that a wave of illegal stores could reopen and once again overwhelm legal operations. Mr. Adams said the authorities would continue monitoring the storefronts to make sure businesses were operating legally. And at the news conference on Wednesday, Mr. Adams took a shot at former Governor Andrew Cuomo, who is his most formidable opponent as he seeks re-election. Mr. Cuomo, who signed the legalization law, is the front-runner in the Democratic primary, while Mr. Adams is running as an independent in the general election. In a quote says, "I had to clean up a lot of the stuff that the former governor did on issues ranging from bail reform to cannabis," the mayor said, responding to a reporter's question. Richard, as a party, a spokesperson for Mr. Cuomo, fired back at the mayor, saying he said he acted like a bystander for years as the illegal weed shops festered. A good manager would have acted quicker to confront it head on, he said. New Yorkers aren't stupid, and they know the mayor is a desperate man, and that Andrew Cuomo has the experience to get this city back on the right track, he says. It took 2 years and much effort for the city to close Dunkin' Boys, the smoke shop that Salsa replaced on Woodhaven Boulevard, and the shop was initially shut down by a city task force back in 2022, but it sprang back to life as Woodhaven Convenience, and little had changed, however, prompting a second raid back in 2024. Robert Holden, a Queens City Council member that represents the area, shared a video on X during the 2024 raid that showed a sheriff's deputy flipping a sandwich that changed the counter display glass from frosted to clear, revealing shells of illicit weed products. And in another video, an officer pulled out an electrical outlet to reveal a hidden compartment. Look at that, fancy. The city fined the owners more than $16,000 for selling cannabis and cigarettes without proper permits, according to court records. And in recent rulings, however, state judges found that the city's actions against some of the shops had violated constitutional protections and barred the city from conducting warrantless searches at licensed hemp stores suspected of illegally selling marijuana. The city is appealing the rulings. Mayor Adams said that the city would approach lawmakers in Albany if the rulings presented significant roadblocks to his administration's efforts to keep unlicensed cannabis sellers in check. And in a quote, they say, "We're going to go to Albany to explain why it's important not to allow any loopholes to exist," he said. "But the sheriff is looking at whatever restrictions they've put in place, and we're going to operate within them," he says. Some licensed dispensary owners, however, said that the city and state officials needed to step up enforcement against illegal shops. And Dave Nikoponsky, an owner of Freshly Baked in the Bronx, said he met with state officials earlier this year and that they promised to prioritize the area around his store for enforcement ahead of April 20th, an unofficial cannabis holiday that is one of the biggest sales days of the year, he says. But of the dozens or so legal shops near his dispensary on Arthur Avenue, only one has been targeted, he said. There has been no serious effort of enforcement around us, he says. About half of licensed retailers in the state believe the problem of unlicensed sellers has not improved or has worsened, and Mr. Nikoponsky said, citing an internal survey conducted by the New York Cannabis Retail Association, an industry group. Mr. Nikoponsky is a board member of the association. Mr. Nikoponsky said licensed retailers could not survive alongside illegal sellers who are able to unload weed cheaply because they do not buy their products from licensed suppliers, pay taxes on cannabis sales, or abide by the state's strict rules. And in a quote, "From every angle, the presence and proliferation of these stores and their continued existence unabated is devastating for these licensed sellers," he said. "They're being undercut left and right because the state and city doesn't seem to have any willingness or capacity to do what they need to do," he says. Representatives of the mayor and state cannabis agency did not immediately respond to requests or comments on Wednesday, and Mike Barnacle, 36, one of Salsa's owners, said his pizzeria had no connection to the unlicensed smoke shop, and he said he learned the storefront's history only when the sheriff stopped by about a month ago. He and his business partners, his childhood friend Antonio Padulo, 34, and her husband Manuel Ramirez, 40, had spent months searching nearby neighborhoods for a place, and Mr. Ramirez had stumbled on the empty storefront on a walk last year, Mr. Bankel said. The shop checked all the boxes, he said, listing their requirements on a corner, 1 story tall, and owned by someone willing to rent to a restaurant that needed to build a brick oven. "We got a good deal," Mr. Bankel said. "We're happy." And Walter Placayos, 52, a mattress salesman who works nearby, stopped by the pizzeria on Wednesday with his wife, Zulma, 50, and their 2 children, Maya, 14, and Enzo, 8. And it was his 3rd visit, they say. The city had done a good job shutting down the smoke shops, he said, and nothing that fewer of them seemed to be opening. In a quote, he says, "If they could find a way, a loophole," oh, Dale, there's your word, "something just block them from opening, that would be good," he said. Well, looks like they have loopholes in New York, but I'm not too sure they have them in the federal government, but I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about this.
I don't think anybody should hurt their hand patting themselves on the back about this. Especially not Eric Adams. I mean, that fucking idiot. The real problem is that we have every place where cannabis is made legal, is that they have this tightly controlled legal market, and the trap just goes, yeah, fuck all that. We're going to just provide cannabis wherever we want, and you can't stop it. And that's what, they just doesn't seem to get through. If you put every law enforcement resource onto this, you couldn't stop it. And no one's in favor of that. And I just remind people that during Prohibition, the speakeasy just flourished in New York. And they're not going to be able to stop it unless they open it up and let trap get a license as easy as they just open up right now. And that's the problem. They make it so hard to do this, so overregulated and overtaxed. California is the classic example. And so the majority of the cannabis business is done off the books in the unregulated market.
Oh, man. What do you guys say, Stone? Operation Padlock.
Operation Padlock. Mayor Adams out here celebrating his pizza shutdowns, and well, it's still getting crushed by the unlicensed competition.
Right?
I don't know. Yeah. I think the good news in there is, hey, ladies, get ready. Governor Cuomo is plotting to come back to clean up the city.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plotting, scheming. What do you think, Jenny?
I mean, oh boy.
That's it? Just oh boy? That's all we get out of you, huh?
What you're getting today.
Wow.
It's just stupid what they keep doing. Nobody wants to admit it's stupid. They all want to look for, I got a little victory here. In the meanwhile, the majority of business is off the books. No one wants to talk about that because they're just so fucking tight in their reins on this. The illegal market's going, I don't want to go get a license. Someone will let me set up in this place. I'll have product there this afternoon, and people will buy it until they stop me, and I'll go down the street.
Yep. That's fair. That's fair, Dale. I feel you on that one, bro. I feel you on that one. I don't see how they really are going to stop this. And, I imagine that when these locks fall off, you know what I mean? It's just going to all just happen all over again, and they're going to have to do something all over again. And it's going to be great because it's going to provide more stories for us to cover over here, Dale, and just more of the same shit show.
Yeah, but it's just still more people try and put in their life savings and work into getting a license, and it's just set up to fail.
It's
and that's frustrating to watch.
It's kind of like being on a hamster wheel, Dale, watching New York.
Yeah. Well, but people are still losing their life savings and working hard for nothing. And that's very frustrating to watch. And the government doesn't seem to give two shits about the industry dying. We're the redheaded stepchild, but we're considered criminals. So we don't get a whole lot of anything out of this. You should be thankful for what you're getting.
Fair enough. It
should be an industry that's wide open to people.
And on that, we're going to keep this train rolling. We're going to roll right into attorney at law, Mr. Dale Schafer. Dale has been an attorney since the Reagan administration. He has represented physicians, hospitals, insurance companies, cops, corrections officers, and for the last 25 years, he has specialized in cannabis law. He served a 5-year federal prison sentence for helping medical marijuana patients and managed to save his law license. He's blunt. He's honest. He's unconcerned with public opinions, and especially yours, and will show you how to defy gravity by pissing up a rope. That's right, it is none other than your favorite Tio Loco, and you can now find him at his own law office at the law office of Dale Schafer. It is attorney at law, Mr. Dale Schafer.
Good morning, everybody. It's, again, your favorite Tio Loco and full of shitakis again. And my story this morning comes out of a Marijuana Moment by Kyle Yeager yesterday, and the headline is Trump's DEA pick refuses to detail marijuana rescheduling stance in response to senators' questions. Well. Mr. Terrence Cole, we've talked about him before. He's a career DEA agent. He's now in Virginia, and one of his jobs is overseeing their cannabis control, whatever. Everybody's got a different acronym for these fucking groups, but he's in charge of that. But when he gets written questions from senators, what do you think about rescheduling? His answer is absolute fucking gobbledygook. It's just nothing. Okay. Therefore, you tell me nothing. If I was in court, I'd say objection, non-responsive, move to strike, and instruct the witness to answer the goddamn question. We don't get it. Okay? And this is just my latest frustration at people trying to become, heads of organizations and going through Congress. None of them will say diddly squat that tells the committees where their head is. Okay, and this goes back to a guy named Robert Bork. I don't know if some of you youngsters may not remember this guy.
I remember him.
I remember the Saturday Night Massacre with Richard Nixon. And 2 attorney generals resigned rather than firing the special prosecutor. Bork jumps in his Volvo and drives over and make me attorney general temporarily, and I'll fire the son of a bitch. Okay. Well, it turns out a new prosecutor came in, and the tapes they wanted show that Nixon was a lying sack of shit, and he had to resign. Okay. So move forward to Reagan, and Bork's there, and the Democrats are like, we remember what you did. Okay. And they ripped him a new asshole and said, you don't get to be on the Supreme Court. After that, virtually every nominee that goes before Congress gives you a nothing answer. It is very goddamn frustrating. The question is, do you support rescheduling from 1 to 3? Well, I'll have to go talk to people and review all the shit. Bull fucking shit. You've been a career DEA agent. You can't tell me you don't understand how this works. You're in charge of a cannabis control group in Virginia. So again, if you're not aware that they're trying to reschedule and that this is stuck in the mud, I'll have to go back and consult with people. This is a nothing answer. It's infuriating because I want this to be descheduled. Do not send it to Schedule 3. And if you're encouraging people to keep dithering around with this stuff, then I don't support you. Okay. But this guy's track record is a typical DEA agent. He thinks that cannabis is going to ruin Western civilization. He even told a group in Virginia, I've been a DEA agent for over 20 years. You know how I feel about weed. Well, we all do. But when someone asks you a direct question, what do? Well, I don't know. I got to think about this. Stop it. We're just full of shit. And this is not just Democrats or Republicans. This is both sides. No one will give you a straight answer when they want to become a head of one of these agencies or want to go to the court or whatever. It's sickening. I'm looking for some indication of what the Trump administration is going to do about rescheduling. Can somebody please be honest? I don't know what the answer is. I hope the answer is we're not in favor of Schedule 3. We don't want to do this. Nobody wants to take a position.
To the city.
It's just very frustrating to watch, and I don't know where they stand. Okay, how do we predict where this is going to go? It'll be ruinous for social justice people out there. Most people in the industry will not get a Schedule 3 license. It's going to kill the industry. And as important a consequence as that is, can you give us some kind of an answer? Apparently, the answer is no. Okay? So it's frustrating. I don't know what to make of this. I don't see a whole lot of hope that we're going to get any attention out of the Trump administration in the near term. So I'm going to throw this back at you guys for what you had to say, but this just pisses me off more than I can tell you.
Well, this bullshit Jason's going to spit is probably going to piss you off too. Go ahead, Jason.
What do you mean? What are you talking about, Jenny? What are you talking about? What am I going to...
I just want to hear your comment on the story.
Man, Jenny.
Jason.
Non-responsive, move to strike.
Yeah, move. Oh, you guys are funny. I mean, here's here's the thing with this guy. Like, I don't have a problem with him. You know what I mean? Trump's DA, the guy to, the fact that he refuses to outline his stance on cannabis just tells me that it's better for him not to have a stance as opposed to him having a stance that is a negative stance. That's kind of my whole take on this. I'm totally fine with him not saying that he has a stance and he wants to review and this and this and this and this and that. And ultimately, I'm hopeful that he'll come to the point either from being a prohibitionist or from learning about it, of saying, hey, you know what, Schedule 3 is not the right way to go at all whatsoever. And so that's I'm fine with either of those options. I don't care. I'll take it, because ultimately, to me, I don't want it to go to Schedule 3 because I just know it's going to be the death of the industry. And so whether it's through his prohibitionist tactics or through him learning and whatnot and evolving on this position, I'm fine with either one of those. But if you start saying that he wants to move to Schedule 3, then we got a problem. He's got to go.
Well, but in a moment of honesty, the people in Virginia, when he's, don't even ask me how I feel about weed, because I've been a 20-year agent. You know how I feel about weed. Mm-hmm. That's a moment of honesty. Okay. Mm-hmm. And part of my problem here is that no one will be honest. I want to go in there. No one's got any position they can tag on me, so I'll take whatever position I want. Mm-hmm. That's irritating, because you get people in these positions and you find out that, oh, you have a position that you could have and probably should have stated to the senators and the representatives when they were asking these questions, but no, you didn't want to do that. So now you're coming out with some horseshit that none of us likes. We should have known this. And it repeats itself through every administration. It's irritating as hell. And I think we deserve an honest answer. Even if I don't like it, I want an honest goddamn answer. Mm-hmm. We don't get it.
It's more of the same. This guy doesn't have to tell us what his opinion is to know what his opinion is. We know what his opinion is. He's anti the shit, and he's going to do whatever he's told, basically. So maybe he's the wrong guy to be asking the questions to.
Oh, fair enough.
Trump doesn't understand the issue. No. So, I mean, where do you go?
gonna keep kicking the can down the road. That's the bottom line.
I mean, he understands the issue enough to have voted yes for it. And not to mention, he's the one that signed the Farm Bill, which basically legalized all cannabis overall. So, I mean,
just because he was president.
How do you know he voted yes for it, Jason?
Because he did. He voted yes for it in Florida as a Florida resident.
Were you in the booth when he voted?
He publicly came out and said that he voted for it and supported the amendment.
And Trump's never said something that was not true.
Never.
Right? Is that what you're telling us?
100%.
Never. Holy shit! You're smoking fucking crack, dude.
Says it enough times, it becomes truth. Dale, come on, that's the way it works.
Oh man, you know.
But just to be clear, I've had a career chasing the truth. Okay, and when I was a kid, lying was an ass whipping offense. Mm-hmm. So now we're in a position where everybody fucking lies. Okay, there's no consequence for it. And you're going, okay, well, what happens? If you were my kid, I'd take you in the woodshed and whoop your ass.
Well, that's because parents...
Everybody lies now.
Yeah, but that's because kids will just call CPS on their parents. That's you know what I'm saying? Got to go back to making ass whoopings great again or something, Dale.
Well, I don't know that you necessarily have to have the ass whooping. That was the last consequence, was when I told you to stop doing shit to my kids. Mm-hmm. Okay? But... consequences for being just blatantly dishonest. And Trump may be the most recent one, but you can look at both administrations. You ask them a question, they'll tell you some gobbledygook bullshit that's absolutely not true. And then later dance around when they're caught. You know, it's like, no. Can somebody just be honest? Even if I don't like the answer, tell me the goddamn. It's like I was in medicine. If you got cancer, okay, the John McCain, just give me the hard facts, doc. I want to hear what it is. And don't piss and moan and jump around the issue. Tell us honestly, even if I don't like the answer. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm. What do you think? You got anything you want to say on this, Jenny Beth? You've been pretty quiet today.
I know, and the show's moving along expeditiously. I love it. You know, I think, once again, the federal government does not give a shit. So until we get that through our thick skull, and our collaborators are going to be gassed if they haven't done anything.
Well, all right, Jenny Beth, on that, we're going to roll into our next commercial, and we are going to be right back.
I don't even have my.
And we are back. Stop whatever you're doing. Make sure you smash the like button. I know we'll appreciate it. You'll appreciate it. And YouTube will appreciate it. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed already. And all of the articles that we cover on today's show, you can read directly on our website at www.highat9news.com. And make sure you use the link in the description down below and get yourself a can of Liberal Tears Patriot Peach, 150 milligrams of caffeine, no sugar at all in this. Taste of freedom, and no snowflakes were harmed in the production of this product, you guys. I just ordered the summertime strawberry salad when added steak on top here at Anna's. Make sure you do the same thing too next time you're in downtown Long Beach. Come on down and check out Anna's joint on the 400 block of Pine Street. They have amazing selection of beers, foods, and when you come down here to Anna's, you can even challenge me to a game of shuffleboard if you want to lose. Did you get that? So, next time you're in downtown Long Beach on Pine Avenue, make sure you stop by Anna's Joint on the 400 block. Not only do they have Anna's Joint, this restaurant and bar, but they also have the amazing deli next door, and then next door to that, they have a very exotic flower shop. You may want to stop by and say hi. And we are back, you guys.
Heading down to the ATX. Taking the high road, Mr. Stone Slade. What do you got for us, Stone?
Thank you, Jenny Beth. We've got Texas news here. Actually,
big Texas. Love Texas.
What's that?
Love Texas.
You do love it.
It's nice and red.
Around the ATX. I already
nice and red, Stone.
Yeah, buddy. Sometimes. Someplace. We've got the news to do here. It's always been a little ironic that something called the Texas Compassionate Use Program is one of the least compassionate medical cannabis programs in the country. But maybe, just maybe, that could change if the Texas Senate decides to get on board with what the House just passed. House Bill 46, a bipartisan measure from Republican Ken King and Democrat Penny Morales Shaw, passed the Texas House with a 118-16 vote. 16 little turds, you. A final third reading passed too, despite 21 lawmakers trying to block even a modest expansion, and despite a flood of reefer madness from prohibitionist groups still clinging along to debunk myths. House Bill 46 would finally add chronic pain, Crohn's disease, traumatic brain injury, degenerative disc disease, glaucoma, and other conditions to the list of qualifying conditions under the Texas low THC medical program. It also opens the door for honorably discharged veterans with any condition their doctor deems appropriate. It takes a big step forward on how the medicine can be delivered. We're talking vapes, nebulizers, patches, and even suppositories. Representative King, speaking on the House floor, called this a veteran priority. He said, there's too many Texans who are still struggling to get access to the medicine that they legally have the right to receive. But of course, the usual suspects couldn't let progress slide without a panic. The Texas Eagle Forum warned lawmakers that treating chronic pain could somehow lead to fentanyl use, psychosis, and apparently the apocalypse. They claim 70% of fentanyl users started with cannabis, and then 100% of them started with water. Anyway, they also opposed letting veterans with PTSD access cannabis, arguing we're offering them numbness and escapism instead of helping them thrive. Because apparently giving vets a shot of relief is less patriotic than making them suffer in silence. This is the kind of propaganda that's kept Texas stuck for years. No flower, a 1% THC limit, endless hoops for patients to jump through, and for what? Meanwhile, over in the adult use hemp side of the state's THC frenzy, we've still got Senate Bill 3. The original version wanted to ban all forms of hemp-derived THC. The new version, CSSB3, takes a cue from the alcohol industry. It allows adults 21 and up to buy edibles and drinks with up to 10 milligrams of THC, tinctures up to 25 milligrams, and low THC flower. But vapes would still be banned because apparently the same THC molecule becomes a menace the moment you put it in a safe, tested vape device. And in a plot twist no one asked for, the bill shifts regulation from the Department of State Health Services to the Alcohol Beverage Commission. This bill does enormous damage to the Texas hemp industry and would put many business owners out of business. So to recap, one bill expands medical access for suffering Texans. The other tries to restrict how adults legally consume hemp-derived THC. One helps veterans. The other one bans their preferred delivery method. One acknowledges real pain. The other claims it's all in your head. And with the session ending on June 2nd, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick is already teasing a special session to ban all THC not funneled through the state's rigid medical program. Because when it comes to cannabis, Texas politicians never miss a chance to do too little or the absolute wrong thing. The House took a rare step forward. Now it's up to the Senate to decide if Texas will finally show some compassion or if they'll double down on fear, misinformation, and the outdated beliefs that cannabis is more dangerous than doing nothing at all. And that's all I got for you. I'm Stone Slade from the High 9 News.
Lieutenant Dan,
right?
Come on, man.
Yeah.
What are you doing? This is the same story everywhere. The prohibitionists drag out their fear-mongering, their hobgoblins. And when you look around where it has actually, Colorado, California, other places where they've actually passed both medical and legal, the sky hasn't fallen. Youth use is down, okay? And if you don't allow this to happen, the trap market just thrives. So the more you try to clamp down, the more the trap market thrives. I mean, this ain't rocket science. How many times you got to tell these people this before they get it? And the sky just hasn't fallen. Stop it. Stop it already.
We'll take the trap market out of it. Like not.
You're cutting out. You're cutting out, Jenny. Something's going on with you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Take the trap market out.
I have no clue what the fuck happened. Take the trap market. I feel bad for people like Leo.
Same thing. Same
I really
thing.
need this. What's going on?
We're getting like every other word from you, Jenny. We're getting like every other word from you, so I'm not sure what's going on with you.
How about right now? How about now? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Good. All right. I feel bad for the patients in Texas.
And we're getting
what to do.
I agree.
Yes, whatever Jenny said. I guess.
I heard the patients, and definitely.
I heard the patients. Yeah, I heard the patients too. I'm not
sure what's going on with my mic. But
something's going on with it.
Well, but when they throw the veterans in there, and we're going to throw a little bone to the veterans, just stop it. Okay, we should be looking for ways to help veterans, even if it means you give them higher levels of THC and let them titrate this stuff quickly. When you take edibles and you consume these drinks, you do not get the immediate effect you might need when you're having a fucking panic attack, okay, and you need this to stop, or you're having a seizure, or you can't sleep at night. I mean, they're just not understanding how this gets in the system, and whether you take it in edibly or you smoke it, your liver does the same thing to it. It's the same goddamn molecule, and it's just incredible that they're either that stupid, or they just, no, I don't want to hear this stuff. Don't tell me. And the patients are the ones that are, if they find it works, they're going to go find the plant.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what Molly and I found out back, 25 years ago. If people find that this works for them, they're going to find a way to get their hands on it.
Yep.
And it's inhumane to go after people and punish them for finding something that actually works for them. And it doesn't lead to fentanyl. And as Stone said, if the first psychoactive thing you use is water, then, okay, water causes fentanyl use. It's nonsensical. Beer and wine is basically the first psychoactive substance people have used traditionally, but no one said, if you start drinking a beer, you're going to end up shooting heroin. But if you smoke a joint, you're going to end up shooting heroin. It makes no sense. It's nonsensical, but we keep hearing it. I mean, Kevin Savett must be writing this bullshit for these people.
He probably is. Yeah.
That group is all up in arms that they were adding chronic pain to the list, because they're like, you can't diagnose chronic pain. Like, that's just going to give pot to everybody.
I mean, there needs to be that, weed for the people. You know what I'm saying, Stone? Like that's, yeah.
Well, but the medical community, after the Sackler nonsense, they were threatened by the DEA. You can no longer prescribe opioids. Okay, that's out. Got all these great chemicals the pharmaceutical industry makes. Hey, come on down. We'll try them on you. But you smoke a joint and go, my back pain feels better, whatever. And you go, why would I want to take all this chemical bullshit, okay, when I can smoke a joint and feel better? No one wants to have those discussions in the medical community because doctors are pussies. Once they got threatened by the government, they just go, I won't do this anymore, okay? And so people are out there finding their own methods, and cannabis has been used by human beings longer than we had written history.
Yeah.
Okay? And it's killed nobody since. Nobody that we can find, all right? Alcohol, heroin, all these other drugs, they kill people almost every day. You cannot get people to understand the safest pain medicine you can take, safer than Tylenol and aspirin, is cannabis.
Yeah.
Okay. Period. End of discussion. And yet we're still having these we're going to allow you to do it if you have chronic pain. Oh, thank you very much. Fuck you. I serve my country. I got chronic pain. No one will prescribe me pain medicine. So I found my own way to do it. Fuck you. No, I won't piss in the bottle for you because it's none of your goddamn business how I treat my pain.
Yeah. I just tell him Dale, my aim's off. I can't piss in the bottle. My aim's off.
No, the VA asked me for it. I said, you got a warrant? What? You got a fucking warrant. The last time I pissed for the government, I was in military. Okay? Fuck you. I ain't pissing for you unless you got a warrant.
I feel
don't know what to do with that. There's no medical reason to find out if somebody's using weed to treat their pain. Absolutely no medical reason to do that.
Yeah.
But you still do it.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that, buddy.
You can't be in the cup because you got the shakes, and can't get rid of the shakes unless I can smoke some weed. So I guess
unless you're watching, you bring along the fake dick and piss Phony Pete.
Yeah.
People find how to do that too. Come on,
shout out to the water weenies.
Oh boy.
Yeah, shout out to the water weenies.
Well, when I was in the military, I just knew the guys that did the drug tests. We were partying together. I just wrote the name of the number of the bottle on my hand, and I showed it to him, and it was always a negative test. So there's ways to get around this nonsense.
Well, shout out to the Wizinator guys. Shout out to the Wizinator. You just got to get the right color, Dale. You can't.
Yeah, I'm a white boy. I got to look hard for that. And white boys don't have big Wizinators. You got to find a little Wizinator.
Apparently, P. Diddy doesn't either. And on that, we're going to roll into a commercial, and we're going to be right back.
Oh man, your knees still bothering you, man?
Yeah, my left one, But I'll tell you what, I've been using this new CBD cream, and it works like a miracle.
CBDs? I done heard about them CBDs. I was out there on them Twitters the other day, and I heard they get you high as a kite.
Well, not this stuff. This stuff is tested. Every batch, all the way through, pharmaceutical grade, and in a GMP certified facility. So you're not going to have to worry about flying high.
GMP certified? I might have to try some of this out. Where I'm even find this?
You go directly to aimhighhemp.com and they will ship it to your door right away. Tested. It's not a name, it's a promise.
Could you make that happen? I'd be happy.
That'd be a great executive order, huh? Put cameras in federal courtrooms and you can just watch that would be a good way to alleviate the national debt too. If it was all on pay-per-view for some of these federal cases, you know what I'm saying, Stone? you'd pay $49.99 to watch the Diddy trial all day, right?
Yeah, totally.
See what I'm saying?
Oh, the birthright citizenship thing was. You could hear the audio this morning.
Yeah. See.
So there's ways to do this.
Well, we're going to roll into our final two stories of the day today, you guys, on this Thursday. And apparently there was a software glitch that inadvertently cancels thousands of Oklahoma marijuana business licenses, you guys. Well, I guess that's one way to clean up their program, because thousands of medical marijuana business owners in Oklahoma received notices their business licenses were canceled on Wednesday due to a technical glitch. That's right. In a Facebook post, the Oklahoma Medical Marijuana Authority says it is aware of a software glitch that canceled thousands of businesses' licenses overnight. The agency also says it's working with its third-party licensing vendor, Thentia, to figure out what caused the glitch. OMMA clarified businesses that received the notification can continue operations as usual. And just 2 days earlier, the agency made a scam alert about individuals claiming to be OMMA agents, calling licensed medical marijuana businesses to demand $5,000 or more to pay for supposed fine violations. The agency stated it would never call businesses and ask them to wire money, you guys. Well, Oklahoma has a big old problem, and they got a lot of cleaning up to do, and maybe this was just one way for them to do it, and I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about this. Glitches. Not gleezies, glitches. You all right,
What do you do about that, Dale? What's the legal perspective there, buddy?
Well, it depends on whether there's consequences for it. It's negligence is what it is. Every state I know that puts a computer system in, by the time they get it in, it's outdated. The software is outdated. They don't update it, fast enough. And if you suffer damages, you can imagine a lot of them from having your license canceled. I don't know. I would go after the state.
Let me help with this one.
Okay.
Email, because there was an email that went out that canceled, and then because I know someone who got. Just a second. Read to you. Can you hear me?
Yep, go ahead.
You're still breaking up, though, Jenny.
Son of a bitch. I can't do nothing about that. I'm sorry. So
I'm talking about my mom like that.
The email's gone. So they all got an email, their license canceled immediately. Then they got an email just shortly after saying, we're license not canceled. Continue, carry the fuck on. So, I don't think that there's really what are you going to do? Are you going to about a glitch in a computer? It's definitely don't want to get that email, but there's fixed it. I don't know.
It's a glitchy Jenny Beth.
Yeah.
I mean, what about this? I wonder. Do you think this company, what is it called? Thentia? Is that it? Let me see. Where did you go?
They would be the target if you actually had damages to sue them.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Thentia.
The state has a contract with them that they're going to hold the state harmless if anything happens to the state. So,
yeah, but Dale, do you think that the state of Oklahoma should renew its contract with Thentia after this glitch?
No.
I mean, I'm sure they probably will, though.
I don't know if it gives them grounds to to terminate the contract, things like that. That's where it turns out that a lot of these things happen because somebody knows somebody, and when it comes to firing them, nobody really has the balls to fire them. So they just continue. Can we make it better? No. Tell them to hit the road, find somebody else who's got a better product. That doesn't happen in government. No, it's the friendly, good old boys club. And
yep. Fair enough. And in an effort to try to wrap this thing up as quick as we possibly can today, Stone, did you have anything you wanted to say in Oklahoma before we move on?
Muted.
No, I was ready for the next story.
Okay, all right, fair enough. I just wanted to make sure. Florida, you guys, that's right. We're taking it back to Florida, is updating its medical marijuana registry to improve access and usability. Look at that, you guys. We're going to end on a happy story. That's right. Florida's Office of Medical Marijuana Use, the OMMU, is making changes to the state's medical marijuana registry aimed at simplifying the application process and giving patients better access to important information. According to the OMMU, the state's medical marijuana use registry is receiving updates to its infrastructure and security. In addition to improved performance, the update will bring several user-friendly enhancements for patients and caregivers. Among the changes are a registered user profile, an improved application process for electronic medical marijuana cards, and a more detailed order history that clearly shows what has been purchased and dispensed. For the first time, patients and caregivers will also be able to easily track how much marijuana has been purchased in each category, such as flower, edibles, and sublingual products, as well as how much remains available for purchase under their monthly allotment. Caregivers will gain access to a new documentation dashboard, which provides easier access to required forms and supporting documents, and the updates are part of an effort by the OMMU to make the registry easier to navigate and more transparent for patients. The agency says those with questions can contact them Monday through Friday between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. Eastern Time by calling 850-245-4657. And then you want to hit option 1, or you can email them at medicalmarijuanause@flhealth.gov, you guys. Look at that. They're so thoughtful. What do y'all got to say?
Are they tracking patients in their purchasing?
Yeah, totally.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. They're tracking their purchasing. They're telling them how much they have in their monthly allotment that they can purchase and all of that.
Yeah, they can see what they bought and how much they have left before they have to turn to the black market to finish out the month.
Exactly.
This is Big Brother at his worst. It's none of their goddamn business.
I agree.
It really
with you.
is not.
I'm with you on that. I'm so with you on that, Dale. It's, you know what I mean. It's pretty whack. But at the other hand, maybe it's like, hey, you know what? If you need weed, I can only go and buy so much more weed left, and da 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 da. So I'm gonna need to raise your price this time because I only can buy so much more legally.
Yeah. Great tech, but fucking horrible overreach.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of overreach. I mean, I don't understand why where they get the medical certification to be able to say that this patient needs this amount and this patient needs this amount for this condition and that condition. And I get it that it's the doctors that are doing this, but at the same time, I don't think that the doctors can just be like how it was here in California and say, oh, you know what, you need 1,000 pounds a month kind of thing, and you know what I mean, that shit ain't gonna fly out in Florida.
No,
No, the doctors don't know either.
That's what I'm saying.
I was involved in this, and Molly wrote, I don't know, 15,000 recommendations.
Mm-hmm.
There was no way that any of us could know how much you needed, because that's an individual thing. And we put things on recommendations just so that you wouldn't get arrested, not because it really represented what you were using or what you should use. If you're making your own edible products and things like that, you need a shitload because you're concentrating it.
Yeah.
And, the medical community is not trained in this. They really don't want to know. And those that do get in, they get castigated as, oh, you're just a hippie doctor and blah, 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 blah. But you can write OxyContin prescriptions all day long, and that's cool. But, somebody gets a little extra weed, you're a bad doctor.
Crazy, right?
I mean, it's nonsense. Yeah, it's crazy. And it's none of their goddamn business. And what concerns me is that if these records exist, and it's still a federal crime, I mean, is somebody going to get these records and start connecting dots on people? And
never know.
If you think that's hypothetical, that's what those motherfuckers did to me.
Yep, that is true. I do remember that, Dale.
Yeah.
We don't need limits. We need access. That's what we need.
I agree. And access to better products, especially in Florida. Because
but the real bottom line is that this is from Francis Young, the DEA judge. It's the safest medically active plant on the planet. Period. Stop it. It's not fentanyl. It's not heroin. It's not meth. It's not even single malt scotch. It's safe. It's never killed anybody. Doesn't cause cancer, blah, 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 blah. But yet we still get people buying into, we got to protect the children.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Yep.
They used to give this to children to knock their ass out when they were having seizures, and they'd wake up the next day and they'd be fine. Sort of forgotten about that. The children, what happens if you eat a gummy? Get a good night's sleep. That's what happens. Don't freak out. And then keep the fucking gummies away from them, you idiot. Stop being such a stupid parent.
Fair enough. Well, and on that, thank you all for joining us and getting high at 9 with us every Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific and high noon on the East Coast. Big shout out to our audience and supporters for tuning in daily and listening to the insanity that is the developing cannabis industry. Huge thank you to Aim High Hemp Distribution, Tested, and Catalyst for helping us keep the lights on over here. And thank you to our correspondents for being absolutely amazing. Thank you to Cannabis Sativa L for giving us a reason to do this every day. And thank you to Cloud Media Partners, Anthony out there in the metaverse. And thank you all for tuning in and getting high at 9 with us. We are America's #1 daily cannabis news show.